How's it going, guys? Welcome back or to the channel. And if you're new around here, my name is Mike, and today we'll be doing a review on the Nissan Rogue that I have behind me. It is a 2021 Nissan Rogue SV front-wheel drive, and it is my daily driver for work. It is my company vehicle, and we will be today doing the 2,000 kilometer review. It is the 1 month review, and basically I will be giving you about 10 or 12 items that are good or bad. I have a list of things that I have noticed, things that I either like or don't like, and just basically stuff that I have noticed about the vehicle through driving it, and stuff that I didn't actually initially see or initially encounter when taking the vehicle for its first few days. So now that I've had it for a bit, I can give you guys a little bit more of an intuitive review and let you know exactly what it's like to live with. So without taking up too much of your time, let's hop in and let's go and let's see exactly what it's like. Driving the new 2021 Nissan Rogue. It is a very nice place to be. I cannot complain. After driving this for just over about 5 weeks, so just over a month, I have noticed that it has pretty good acceleration, and it is pretty good compared to other vehicles in its class. It has around, I believe, 180 or 188 horsepower and torque, and it is not sluggish. It gets up and goes. It gets you into traffic when you're merging onto the highway quite easily, as well as if you need to pass somebody on the highway. The power is there. You don't have to worry. It does what it needs to do, and it gets around people pretty quickly. It's not going to win any races. It's not a sports car by any means, even though you do have a sports mode on your drive selector here. You have Eco, Standard, and Sport. You're not going to be using the Sport to go out on the track day and take this thing on the track. It's more of something to just give you a little bit more of a lively sensation when driving, in the sense of it tightens up the steering a little bit, it tightens up your throttle response, and I believe that it also gives you a little bit of a different shift point where it'll shift higher up in the rev range, so that it gives you a little bit of that extra power when driving. The second thing that I'll mention is it actually has pretty good handling and turning radius. The turning radius is quite small for a vehicle of its size, and it also has quite good handling. The handling isn't too bad. It is sharp and responsive when you need it to be. If you are in a tight situation where you need to go around somebody, as I was a few weeks ago, it handles quite well. It responds very quickly, and you're able to maneuver around somebody or an obstacle or whatever the case may be without having to worry, and with confidence. The third thing that I will mention, that I do not want to test right now for you guys because I do not want to get copywritten, but there is a great sound system in here. It really does sound good. You have, I believe, speakers in all the doors, as well as tweeters in the dashboard. And if you get the Bose sound system, the upgraded one, I believe that comes in the higher trim levels, you do get an extra few speakers, and I think a subwoofer as well. But it does sound very good in here, even with the standard sound system that comes in the SV model, which this is. It is nothing that you are going to complain about. The next thing that I will mention in here is there is great visibility. You can see everything that you need to. Whenever you're in a parking lot, you can see the curbs very easily. If you're in traffic, it's nice because you can see over other smaller vehicles as well, and it just gives you good visibility. There's no big obstructions in the cabin. Even looking out the back, if you turn your head, you have a window there behind the rear door, and that gives you that extra little bit of visibility, so you don't have that big C-pillar there kind of covering up everything for you. So the visibility in here is definitely great, and you don't have to worry about never being able to see anything. As well, that brings me to another point. The camera system in here is actually very good. You have cameras on both of your mirrors, on the front underneath the Nissan emblem, and in the back underneath your handle. And that gives you great 360 vision when you're parking. It also gives you a front camera for when you're parking, if you are coming into a parking spot, pulling in forward. And you even get a side camera there on the passenger side, so you can see where your wheels are, so you don't have any issues driving up next to a curb when you're parallel parking. They give you a nice intuitive camera system that actually helps quite a lot, and you are definitely going to be happy to have it, because other vehicles might have a reverse camera, they might have a blind spot monitor, but they don't always have all of the cameras where you get the 360, the blind spot, reverse camera, and the forward facing. So it's really nice that they include all of those even in just the SV model here. Now this model here, and I believe every single Nissan Rogue all throughout the trim ranges, has the zero gravity seats. And what the zero gravity seats are exactly is through 12, or I believe 16, don't hold me to that number, different pressure points, the seat activates those different pressure points in your body to keep you alert and awake. And it doesn't do any kind of mechanical movement or anything like that. All it does is it has different kind of bolstering, and the foam is shaped in different ways on the seat to give you that feeling of those pressure points, to activate those pressure points within your body to help you feel energized and awake, as well as alert. So I have found that they're very comfortable. To be honest, they are very comfortable seats, and they do the job of keeping you alert and awake, in the sense that I always feel that I get more tired on longer drives in other vehicles compared to this vehicle. And I don't know if it's actually the seats or not, but I do actually feel a little bit more awake. Now, that being said, on longer drives, one thing that I really do use is the ProPilot Assist. It works great at keeping you within the lines without you having to adjust yourself continuously, as well as it keeps your speed and distance from the vehicle in front of you constant. So say you set it to 120 or 110 or whatever the speed is that you want to set it at. If the vehicle in front of you is going slower, it'll slow down accordingly to keep the distance until that vehicle either moves out of the way or speeds up, and then it'll go up to the speed that you have it set. Now, if you guys want to see more on that, I have a whole video on that. In my initial review, I talk a whole lot more about that ProPilot Assist. But with that being said, you feel a lot less fatigued because you don't actually drive, but you're also not as involved because you're not actually adjusting the wheel every time you actually start drifting in the lane a little bit. So you don't feel like you're driving as much as you were if you were driving an older vehicle where you have to do all of the driving and adjustments yourself. So the seats keep you alert and awake so that you don't feel bored and you don't feel like you're not doing anything and you don't fall asleep. I don't know if that's true or if that's a gimmick or what it is, but at the end of the day, I have found it to work for me, and the seats actually do help, and they're very comfortable. One thing that I will mention that I do not like in the vehicle is the lane keep assist. If you can see in front of me, I don't know how well you guys can see on camera outside the windshield right now, but the tar snakes, or the repairs in the road, the little lines in the road that go the same direction that you're traveling, and they're just thin little lines of tar or whatever you want to call it to patch up the cracks in the road. When you're on a street without lane markers and it's just a side street, like in an industrial area or in a residential area, and there is those tar snakes, the camera will pick up those tar snakes and think that it is actually a lane, and it'll constantly tell you that you are going out of your lane. It'll also tell you that you are it'll actually do the lane intervention and the lane keep assist, depending on if you have them both turned on. When I initially got the vehicle, I had them both turned on, and it would pull you back into the lane that it thinks that you're coming out of. Well, when there is no lane there, it's pulling you and you're fighting the steering wheel because you're going straight, and maybe sometimes those repairs in the road aren't going straight, and it thinks you're going out of the lane and it tries to pull you in that direction. So that is one thing that is not perfect. It is a little bit flawed, and that is one thing that I do turn off. The lane keep assist is not very good. The prevention or the intervention I don't use, but the actual the chime or the actual alert I keep on, because it's good to have the alert there. It's nice to know when somebody's in your blind spot, but it's not nice when the vehicle starts pulling you and you're actually not leaving your lane. Another thing that I will mention that I have noticed is the cargo room. It isn't the smallest, but it also isn't the largest. You don't really have too much room in the trunk. Once you actually put a few things in there, it fills up quite quick. And if you do see, I have a few things in the trunk right now. It isn't too much stuff, and there isn't really much room left. And putting that same amount of stuff in a regular sedan, I feel like I would have a little bit more room left. That's the vehicle that I used to drive as my company vehicle, and it was a little bit more spacious for keeping things in the trunk. Now, that being said, there is plenty of room for passengers. There is tons of room in the back seat. Even with myself, I'm 6'1", there's tons of legroom for myself in the front, and with the seat where I have it set for my seating position, there's still room for somebody my size or bigger behind me to sit comfortably without having their legs smushed into the seat in front of them. Now, the gas mileage that I've been getting from mine with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder is around 9 from my highway and my city driving combined. Now, that is not too bad. It isn't the best. I believe it's a little bit more than what they estimate, but it's not terrible for the size of the vehicle and the size of the engine. I didn't expect it to burn too little or anything less than around 8, so 9 is not too bad. So I would honestly say that that is pretty much on par with what I think this would burn. It is a little bit more than its rivals, but I would say that it is expected with the 2.5 liter. Now, in addition to having the remote start on the actual remote, the Nissan Connect app that comes for I believe 6 months, so you get the premium version included with all new Nissan purchases. It actually works really great. You can start and stop your engine from anywhere that you have an internet connection to your device, meaning your phone or tablet or wherever your app is downloaded to. And the vehicle, the Rogue here, has its own Wi-Fi network. So as long as it's not in an underground garage or in some sort of remote area where it cannot connect, you can use that app to unlock or lock, start, turn on your lights, do whatever you need to do with your vehicle, as well as check your odometer, check all of your tire pressures, check if it needs any kind of service, as well as schedule your service. It is very great. It has lots of intuitive features. Even if you are driving somewhere to a new location and you need to load up a Google map or location directions, you can actually load them up in the app and have them loaded to your vehicle, so that when you get in the vehicle, it's already there ready for you, and all you have to do is just drive and the map is loaded without you having to plug your phone in and do all of that. That being said, you do have Apple CarPlay. In this one, I have the cable here so I can use my wired connection. If you have the upgraded sound system, it also comes with the wireless charger pad and the wireless CarPlay. So right here you would have your wireless charging pad, and that's super handy if you are just jumping in the vehicle and you don't want to have the cable with you all the time, because it is sometimes a hassle to remember to plug your phone in and make sure that it is plugged in, because sometimes you just want to get in and go. So as long as your phone is here and it's charging, I believe that that is when the Apple CarPlay works wirelessly. I'm not sure if it works while the phone is still in your pocket, but I could be wrong about that. And personally, I park with my vehicle in an underground garage. I actually have it on the first floor of the underground, so closest to the actual ground level. And the app still works for me to start my vehicle from my apartment without having to actually go down there and be within range with the key. So it's super handy for cold mornings when you just want to get that vehicle a little bit warmed up before you hop in, or even if you just want to get the fluids in the engine moving so that you can hop in and go and you don't have to sit there and let it cycle for a minute. It's nice, and it actually works really well. Now, the next thing that I will mention, I'm not sure if that's mostly attributed to my tires, which were also provided by the dealership. I bought these winter tires from the dealer, but this one with the front wheel drive version is not great in deep snow. Whenever you have to deal with any kind of snow more than 6 inches deep, it doesn't really go through it that easy. Sometimes you have to do more than one pass, in the sense that you get stuck, you gotta pull back and you gotta go again, and it's not always the best. Sometimes even pulling out of a parking spot after it snowed, it struggles a little bit. And I'm guessing with the four-wheel drive version you wouldn't have as much of an issue, but with these tires, I have the Yokohamas provided by the dealership. They aren't the best, and I will say that I am quite disappointed at how this thing drives in the snow, but it is what it is. I can't really complain. I guess that's how they get more people to go for the four-wheel drive model. So that being said, if I lived in a cold climate, which I do, and if you live in a cold climate, I would go for the four-wheel drive model. You can still get the SV with a four-wheel drive. It's nice to have that extra little bit of assurance that it's going to get you where you need to go. And if you need to take it to the cottage, or you want to go up north or anywhere where they have not as great road conditions, it's gonna be definitely nice to have that extra bit of power and extra bit of grip from that four-wheel drive system. As well, I believe the four-wheel drive system will come with a different, see, there you go, my steering wheel just vibrated. We're here on a industrial street and it's telling me that I'm getting out of my lane when I'm really not. I'm still on my side of the road. The tar snake has just sort of moved from where it was and it's telling me I got out of my lane. But back to my point. If you do get the four-wheel drive model, I believe instead of the drive mode selector that I have, you get a little wheel here, and that drive mode selector will give you a few more options, more than just the standard eco and sport. I believe you will also have a sand and rock or something like that, some sort of off-road mode, as well as snow, and it's just a little bit different of a selector with a few more drive modes. If I do get my hands on one of those models, I will show you guys the difference, but unfortunately I do not have one with me here today to show you guys. Now, one of my last points will be how driver focused everything is in here. From all of the controls on the wheel, you get tons of controls, paddle shifters. I just love the way that the center console is set up with the shifter, and everything is nice and in reach and very close and easy to use. All of your buttons for your climate are right there, nice and easy to use. You don't have to fumble with any kind of screen or anything like that. Here, even with the screen, you have all of your buttons for your audio, going back and forth on your track, camera button for when you're parking and you quickly want to just check the camera, as well as a big volume knob and a big scroll wheel for when you want to change the station or the song. It is very easy to use and everything is very intuitive. Even the instrument cluster, you have a nice big screen in the middle that shows you all of your different settings and all of your different options that you need to see, from cruise control to lighting to safety. All of the different things are there, and everything is controlled with your steering wheel. You don't have to take your hands off the wheel. You don't have to really worry about taking your eyes off the road, because everything that is easy to use is there, and everything that is a little bit more of takes a little bit more reading, they kind of leave for you for when you're stopped, and they don't let you access it, which is great, so that you don't get caught up in your screens and in your menus while you're driving. When you do go up in trim levels, you do get a larger screen, so you do get your fully digital instrument cluster. You don't have a actual dial like I do for the RPM and for the speed. Everything is digital, fully customizable. It's very nice, and it even includes a heads-up display up at the front, something that is very convenient to have, that I would love to have, but something that isn't necessary. And in this model, it's very well appointed at the trim level, at the cost. This one is $31,500 and it is very well appointed. Everything is here except for leather seats. You get a panoramic sunroof, you get all of the different options that you would want, from heated steering wheel to heated seats. If you go up in trim levels, you get the heated seats in the rear as well. So lots of different options in this vehicle and lots of different trim levels. But to me, this is a great vehicle for my uses for every single day. I enjoy driving it. I have spent probably 2 to 3 hours in here every single day from the day that I have picked it up. So I have taken a lot of time to kind of use all the different features and just see what I like and what I don't like. And overall, I would have to say it is a good vehicle. If you are looking to pick one up, I would definitely recommend it. And if it is your first SUV or first non-car or non-sedan, then definitely you will be happy by sitting a little bit higher and having that same amount of space that you were used to, plus a little bit more for the rear passengers. And when you go to load things into your trunk or into your cargo area, you don't have to lean over as much and you don't have to bend down. So it's nice, it's convenient, it gives you that extra little bit of room to pack with things because you can put the seats down. And honestly, it is a great vehicle. So if you are looking at one, go take a look at one. I am not sponsored by Nissan. They did not pay me for this. I am just driving this because it is my company vehicle and it's something that I had the opportunity to share with you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining me today. If there's any other questions you may have about this Nissan Rogue, please feel free to drop me a line in the comment section and leave me a like, because it definitely helps me out a lot. And don't forget to subscribe, because there is definitely more coming on this Nissan. I am going to do some more videos for you guys, telling you the things that I really don't like about it, the things that I really do like about it, and as well as some other mods and things like that. So we are just getting started. I just had this for about a month now, and I am planning to keep it for the next 2 to 3 years. So there will be a lot more videos I can make with it and a lot more content that you guys can enjoy. So definitely jump down there, hit the subscribe button, hit that little notification bell so you don't miss anything to come. And for all of the people that have already subscribed or returning subscribers, don't worry, we are continuing the Jeep build. The Jeep will be back soon. We are going to be having the lift on, and we are going to be taking it off-road. And if I already got it back and that video is up, well then this weekend we're taking it off-roading, so watch out for that, because we're going to have a great time in the Jeep with all the new parts that we just put on it. And if you're new around here, go check out a few of those videos, because trust me, you guys will have a good time watching them. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, ride safe out there, guys. Peace.